Yo, what's up fam, and welcome to the channel. It's your boy Brandon Rico, and today we're going to be talking about a brand new app that just came out maybe about a month or so ago, and I just been checking it out. It's called Roland Zenbeats. It's kind of a weird name to call it, but you know, yeah, we're gonna rock with it anyway. So we're gonna break down some of the features of this app and talk about it, some of my thoughts on it, and see if we can use it in our workflow. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll know if you'll be able to use it in your workflow, if it's good for you, if it's something that you should invest in, or if it's just something that you use to get some ideas started, or if it could be your full-fledged, all-in-one, everything you need to get started making beats on the go. So let's tap into it and see what we can do, and hopefully I can answer some of you guys' questions. A lot of you guys have been asking me, what do I think about this app? A couple of weeks ago I posted something about it on my Instagram, posted a beat that I made inside of the app. So yeah, let's check it out and see what's what. All right, so first things first, let's talk about what is Roland Zenbeats app. The Roland Zenbeats app is actually a music creation app that's actually available on pretty much every platform right now. Any device, any platform that you're using. This software is available for Mac, Windows, PC, iPad, iPhone, and even Android. Yeah, so all you Android users, this is finally something that you'll be able to use to get a good workflow making beats on your phone or even on your Android tablets. So there are actually 3 different versions of it right now. The first version is free, and it's, in my opinion, it's pretty adequate, really good for what you get for free. So the second version is actually a paid version. I think it's like $14.99, and it's everything, pretty much everything standard that you'll need in your mobile DAW or even your desktop DAW. And the third version is probably the most expensive part of it all. I think it goes for like $150, and it actually unlocks every device and every platform so that you can use all of these versions of every Roland Zenbeats app. So if you have the Mac, you have the laptop, you have whatever you have, the Android phone, iPhone, iPad, whatever you have, it unlocks it on every operating system and every device. It also unlocks all the features and all that stuff. So there's tons of videos talking about it. I won't waste any time talking about, you know, the ins and outs. I want to talk more about the workflow. All right, so you already know me. I downloaded this thing on my iPad first because I definitely had to see what this thing was about. And real quick, I just wanted to break down some of the things that I liked about it and some of the things that I actually discovered just playing around with it for about a week. And then I want to talk about some of the things that I don't like that much about it. So like I said, I downloaded this onto my iPad first, and pretty much everything that you get on the free version is pretty straightforward. So my first thoughts about the user interface is that it was kind of clumsy and it looked really familiar. And after doing some research, I found out that this is actually Stage Light. And if you're familiar with Stage Light workflow, then you'll be good to go in this app. Roland bought the rights to the Stage Light app. I don't know if they bought the company that's, you know, makes Stage Light or whatever, but they bought into Stage Light and pretty much used their interface and just put a bunch of their sounds and their sample packs and stuff into it. And like I said, it's pretty straightforward. Things for me were kind of hard to find at first, but you know, after fiddling around with it and just playing around with it and, you know, just trying to get something going in this app, I found it to be pretty cool. So one of the things that I discovered real quick was the sequence editor inside of this app. So for me, I'm not really a sequence editor type of producer. I really don't like to click in my beats or draw in my beats or anything like that. I'm more of a tactile person, but where this really shined was that the fact that this operated the same exact way on the iPad. It behaved the same exact way on the phone as well. So that's something that I wanted to talk about real quick too. With having this type of stuff available on the phone, this will definitely be the perfect workflow for somebody who is always on the go, even wants to be even more minimalistic and just wants to get some dope ideas out of the blue from their cell phone. And lately I've been looking into a lot of different apps to try to get a more professional sound or a professional workflow from the cell phone. Apps like the Koala Sampler app Rolling Noise and Blocks Wave, and I talked about that in a different video. So if you haven't already check that out. Those are 2 free apps. And even stuff like Launchpad and the Bleeze apps. Like I said, this really shined for me when I started using it on the cell phone. And let me tell you why. I discovered a few different things on the sequence editor. So in order to go into the sequence editor, you have to add a track, add your drums. You double tap on that instrument, and there it is. The sequence editor is right there. And what really kind of stood out to me was the ability to import my own sounds inside of this app. And the reason this could be so important on the phone is because I'm not always able to tap or bring a MIDI controller with me. So being able to come up with beats and, you know, drum loops and stuff like that on the go, just by using my phone, that's a pretty good workflow. You can do something as easy as this. And actually what I discovered on this is that, you know, when doing the hi-hats, I actually found a way to drag my finger, and when I drag to the right once, it goes every eight bars, every 8 notes. When I drag a little bit further, it goes every 4 notes. Drag a little bit further, every 2 notes. A little bit further, it turns into a triplet. A little bit further and then as I drag further and further along, it turns it all, you know, all those notes into. So you can see how that can turn into something really dope real quick. And then you can go in there and clean it up. Like that. And another really dope thing about this app is that you can pretty much automate anything in here. So all you have to do is press and hold on a specific instrument or whatever and hit automations, and then you can see everything in here from pitch to velocity. So you can take the pitch down, and then you can even add a new automation. Come out of there. And even from there, stuff that I discovered, like playing with the velocity, even from this screen here. If you tap and hold, you can tap and then bring your finger down like that, and then that pulls the velocity up and down. And you can see that the that square is getting brighter as I move my finger up, and you know, it's getting darker. You know, it kind of fades out as I move my finger down, and then that signifies that, you know, velocity on that specific pad. Alright, so with something like that, that's already really dope to me. I can see myself automating all types of drum kits and drum loops and stuff like that for myself to export. And speaking of exporting, you can actually import and export MIDI files inside of this app. So you can export the MIDI from this actual composition of drums into another app. or into another program or whatever, you know, application or DAW that accepts MIDI. So again, with this app, I was really impressed with the ability to be able to import my own audio tracks as well as record my voice. So on this one, I'm gonna just record my voice. Ha! Yo! Ha! Yo! And I can kind of edit that. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Ha! Yo! Ha! Yo! And then I can even edit it into a 2-bar loop. Ha! Yo! 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 Okay, and then like I said, I can record my vocals into it using like an external vocal recorder, or even just the regular iPhone. And then what really impressed me is the ability to be able to import audio files. So it takes you to the Files app, and then from here, I don't know if you can see that. I should have zoomed in a long time ago. So I don't know if you can see that, but from here, I already made some loops inside of the Roland Noise app that I was playing with, and yeah. So the thing about this is, alright, so the thing about this is you have to actually go in. When you import your loops, they automatically time stretch to I don't know what the algorithm is and why it didn't do it, because this is already a audio file that was already played at 150 beats per minute. So what you have to do is actually turn the time stretch off, and then go ahead and set it to an 8-bar loop, which is what that loop was. You exit out of that. So before, if I didn't do that, it would play it like this. And you see how that didn't sync. And you can see how that audio file didn't sync to that loop. So just take off the stretch, go back. And this is all off the iPhone. And this is all pretty much off the iPhone. This is the free version. Now with the paid version, you do get a little bit more. You can see some of the things in the menu on the side. Like you get to edit more. In the paid version, you have some stuff that you have to you'll be able to unlock. So you'll be able to go in and tweak your drums on the side. But over here it says unlock. I don't really think I'll need to use any of those features just yet. So that's pretty much why I haven't pulled the trigger on the paid version like that yet. So with all of these features that they give you for free, I definitely think it's something worth looking into. You can kind of see it grayed out over here, and it says unlock for $15. And it'll unlock it on on your iOS devices. But you can go in and tweak different sounds, from pitch to how time stretching your different drums. They give you an individual mixer. But to be able to have something like this for free, I think this is pretty much all I'll need to even, you know, get stuff started and get ideas going and kind of finish some ideas that I started, you know, in other apps. This will be a great app to, you know, this will be a great app to get the point across and, you know, just get the vibe going, so that when I bring it into apps like, you know, Beatmaker 3. So those are some of the things that I do like about the app. If you guys want me to go more in depth about, you know, some of the features and tutorials on how to use this app, especially on the iPhone, then yeah, let me know in the comments. Now I'm going to start talking about some of the things that I don't like. So one of the things that I noticed really quick, and because you guys already know my workflow, you know that I rely heavily on tactile interaction. So having something like this on the phone and be able to throw some headphones in and sit down, you know, just anywhere and just create loops like that on the go, on the fly, from drum loops to melodic loops, all that stuff, to even get started with ideas and stuff like that. This is perfect for me. One of the things that I did notice that I didn't like about the app though is when I went into the settings, I wanted to go into MIDI, and I noticed that there is no MIDI out. I noticed that there is no MIDI output to control any external hardware that you have going out here, which is okay. That's not a big deal because I don't have a whole lot of hardware that I use, you know, to control MIDI. You know, I'm definitely a fan of Roland products. I have, you know, a couple Roland synthesizers, hardware synthesizers, but I looked even further and I noticed that there is no Bluetooth MIDI options. And that turned me off completely because, you know, my workflow with my iPhone is definitely something that uses a Bluetooth MIDI keyboard, and I talked about that in another video. I use the Roland Blocks light pad a lot to do a lot of melodic compositions, so it would kind of force me to not be able to use the Roland light pad inside of here because it can't connect to it. So it kind of forced me to use other apps to then import the audio files back into this app. And, you know, I would really like to be able to, you know, especially from the cell phone, I would really like to be able to do everything all in one spot. But for right now, it's just not ready. It's just not that modular. Another thing that did bother me was when bringing in, you know, importing audio files. It wasn't that easy to edit that audio as far as like time stretching and stuff like that. It definitely would take a lot of time consuming things, as opposed to maybe I'm spoiled because of Beatmaker 3, how easy it is to manipulate those samples once you import them into the app. I would have definitely liked to see a better workflow when importing those, having more editing options with that. There was no easy way to time stretch in this app. There was no easy way to manipulate the samples without having to. I guess that's what the unlock feature was for. So I guess when you unlock these features for $15, that they give you more options to edit those loops or edit those audio samples and audio files, as we've seen in the beat sequencer. As well as being able to add individual effects on individual drums and sounds and stuff like that. And that was just really a problem for me, not being able to pull up a whole mixer for each individual drum, even though it kind of canceled itself out because it give you the ability to automate a lot of what's happening here inside of this drum loop. So you can add automations and, you know, monitor them and edit them, you know, as you see fit. So it gives you a lot of editing options as far as automation go, which will be really helpful, especially when I'm just getting random ideas out on the cell phone. I would just have liked to see a actual mixer for the drum track. But then again, like I said, this is the free version. I haven't pulled the trigger on the paid version yet, so I can't really complain too much. So those are some of my initial thoughts on the Roland Zenbeats app, and you can definitely see how that can turn into something really dope, really cool. Being able to import your audio files and come up with drum loops and melodies and stuff like that on the go, even straight from your phone. You know, whether you have an Android or, you know, iPhone, iOS device, or even your MacBook. I ain't even touched that stuff yet. I haven't even gotten into that part because, you know, I didn't unlock anything else. I'm just using the free version of the app on my iPhone, and, you know, more so on the iPhone now than the iPad. So for me, I think it's worth using, worth looking into. I'm still not convinced that I should pay for the actual paid version yet, because it's pretty much giving me everything I would need. In the free version, being able to import, you know, my own drum kits, and being able to import my loops that I made from other apps like the Rolly Noise app, as well as that drum sequencer. That's probably one of my favorite features of the app right now, is having a drum sequencer so that I don't have to tap on anything. You know, on a small screen like this, I can just throw my AirPods in, sit back and chill, and I could be making beats on my phone and nobody will even notice, which is something I actually really just didn't like before. But having it, you know, having it something like this on the phone, and having those features inside that sequence editor, it definitely made it easier for me to make the type of music that I make, and then being able to export that audio into whatever, or export that MIDI into the next application and use it outside of this, you know, outside of that workflow. Those were probably the best features that stuck out to me and that made me want to use it even more. So if you want to see me actually create a beat from start to finish, let me know in the comments. Those are my thoughts. If you want to see me create a beat from start to finish on my iPhone using the Roland Zenbeats app, yeah, just let me know in the comments. And the thing that this does very well is just being versatile and having those extra little small features of being on a smaller screen and being able to do some of the things that you do offhand inside of a small screen like this. So I think I might delete it off the iPad, since I'll only really be using it from the iPhone. Like I said, there are some things that they did right, and then some things that they just kind of half stepped on. Not being able to use MIDI controllers, Bluetooth MIDI controllers. Regular MIDI controllers work with it just fine. And let me know what you think. Do you think I should pull the trigger on the $15 for the unlocking all the features, or, you know, is it adequate enough to just make some drum loops and then export them into my other DAWs and keep it pushing? This has been your boy Brandon Rico. Thanks for rocking with me. Thanks for rocking with the channel. Drop me some comments. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned, because I got a good feeling some updates are coming pretty soon. Peace.